nosing around his internet and his computer, and she found that he was part of a website that's like a fetish site for cannibals. And he filled in like 100 people the way that he would torture and eat them and murder them as like a fetish thing. Not that he did it or was really even planning to, just like, you know, for other weirdos like him. So she said, well, my husband's a cop, so he could really, you know, this is weird. So she basically, long story short, he gets arrested, gets life in prison for intent, which is ridiculous in and of itself. He's a cop. He's supposed to get away with murder, not go to jail for life for doing nothing. And then, so I wanted to do like a biopic because it just struck me as weird. And then the story goes on further to where he's the prison cook. So I'm like, I'm trying to write a serious story and it keeps getting more and more ridiculous. And then I said, I don't know. And then it was like somebody was whispering in my ear almost, and in like 2 weeks straight, I just wrote the entire script, and the whole thing just turned into this ridiculous odd couple buddy cop horror hybrid thing. And I don't even know where the hell it came from exactly. It just 2 weeks later, finished script.
Wow.
Couldn't believe it.
That was awesome, John. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Way better than I even.
Basically, what we were trying to do with everything, what I was going for with it was to take a cop movie and all of the scenes that you see in your normal cop movie and just kind of twist them on their ear a little bit, add something to the mix. Like a perfect example is how goofy we are at Paula's Donuts, and like I ate like probably 10 donuts. I literally ate a 12-pack while I'm in there looking through evidence. It's like we tried to find all the ways we could make the standard action film kind of just wonky and see how much fun we could have with it. And another thing too I have to mention with the script is that Danny and Tim and Sam and Debbie and everybody that really came in, I basically told everyone, you know, this is a comedy, and most comedy gold starts with a good base, but it comes from doing a lot of improv and things. So I let everybody look at the script, think about little things that they wanted to add to certain scenes, and there's a ton of stuff. The toilet paper talk and people crapping in their hats and everything. So a lot of the script also came from just improvisation and fun things happening as we shot. Like Debbie's, from the time he could crawl, he's eating frogs off the front yard. I don't know if you guys noticed in the movie, but Danny almost lost it. He's like, grr, and he has to like walk off set because he wasn't expecting it. He started cracking up. But that's how the script came to me.
All right, and John, this is probably the one time you're going to have so many people from the cast, especially with Debbie here. Is there anything you want to say about the cast in general?
Oh, geez, just, I mean, the cast and crew were just outstanding rock stars, everybody. I mean, as we watched the movie, I had like, you know, Goomba this, Goomba that, blah, blah, blah. And everybody had to have a character. I mean, every little minute detail, like every little extra that was in the scene, everything, they were just like, it was, they were just like little characters, all of them. It wasn't just like, you know, like just walking across the background. So I went through and I gave like literally everybody got like a real credit and a real name. And I mean, the major thing everybody needs to know is that our crew was like, how many people? Like 6? We had like, I'm sitting here for the Q&As and they're like, well, we had 60 people in our crew, and I'm like, 60 fucking people. Jesus Christ. Chris was DP, grip, electric, like everything. I mean, it was just like insane. Like we literally, it was all hands on deck. Mark and Jay, Mark Edwards and Jay Sukarski, where are you guys? Where are they? Jay and Mark, are you back there? Where are they? Well, Jay and Mark were the main crew. Like the two of them. It said ADs. They signed on as PAs, and it was like basically just them. That was the fucking crew like every day. And then we'd have like Karina added in here for a couple of days, or like Michael Paul Will would come in and help, or you know, everybody. Big Jim was one of the major production assistants on set while playing the Cannibal Cop, acting in like his first big role ever. The the way we came across Jim, the way we came across Jim is Jim basically, Jim basically, we were just looking for somebody to play the Cannibal Cop. We talked to a bunch of different people, and then randomly I got a message from Jim saying, well, I'm really tall. And I'm like, well, that's good. Have you ever acted? He's like, sorta. And I'm like, all right, well, let's read. Let's do it. And then I went in there, and I was like, holy shit, that was really good. And then I showed Chris, and Chris was like, yeah. So we ended up going with him. And my wife here, Nikki, and my mom and dad are back there. My mom cooked all the food. All the food. Nikki.
They're here?
Nikki here does like helps me with all pre-production, post-production, helps me with the scripts, everything. I mean, I just can't say enough about the cast and crew. It's like, I mean, we basically set out on an impossible task. I was told there's no way you could shoot this thing for any less than $40,000. We shot it for about $9 grand.
Wow.
7? It was
nothing.
Yeah.
We had to fly in.
Yeah. We had to fly in a lot of people in from out of town and everything. It was.
And thank you.
It was crazy.
Thank you, Kim, because she's stayed at your house.
Yes.
Which kind of freed up a little bit of the budget.
And like Armand came in and worked camera for us when you were on the other show, when you were on Killer Rat. Armand came in and did camera for the concert. It was like everybody was just like all hands on deck. And Sam, is Sam still here?
You got dropped.
Sam left. Sam had to go to work. I didn't even get a chance to say how awesome was Dick Johnson in this film. Sam probably got it. I mean, Chris Cosby over here. He made the rough edits that I did look like somebody who actually knows what the fuck they're doing. So that was really cool. Chris was like, I mean, 2 years of going insane. I mean, I just, okay. Cosgrave rocked out of the house. Mick fucking did like so much to help everybody out. He was there as many days as he could. There's behind the scenes footage that we have to put in the credits. There's some more stuff that's going in behind the scenes, and Mick wanted to be out of breath and winded. So there's video footage of him running laps around this tree in Armand and Kim's front yard, like for like 10 minutes, the funniest thing. Anybody recognize this big lug? He got smoked by a truck. Yeah. This is Lamont. He played Davi. He brought in like all those guys that were with the machine guns, except for Cosgrave, who got killed almost as many times as Frank and Sherry. He brought the whole crew in. Everybody came in their own costumes and stuff. It was just like perfect. He rocked it, funny as hell, and nobody gets hit by a truck like Lamont. We were very busy running like maniacs, and we never got the plate of the truck driving through. Chris Cosgrave built the truck in a computer from scratch and ran him over with it. That was completely different.
Wow.
Debbie Rashawn. Absolutely just amazing to have on set. It was just the greatest. I mean, we've been talking about working together for, I mean, since the first moment I was Shanghai you at Slime City, like, hey, what's going on? And you're like, what the fuck is this guy?
The mayor.
Yeah, she, oh God. This first moment I knew her, I knew that I'd be doing something with her very, very soon, and it turned into like friggin' 10 years later. But we did it.
We did it. And I want to say something about John. When we were shooting a lot of the scenes, the office scenes for the cops, the entire location was taken away from him, but he just kept going. He kept going, and you were amazing. I mean, anybody.
Thank you so much. That day was something.
Yes.
That day was something.
And you were a trooper.
I thought Chris was going to fucking explode. I thought there was going to be a smoky hole with Chris's shoes in the bottom of your suit.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Alex McBride, everybody.
Alex!
sniffing.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I lose it every time. Oh my god. Is Dan Greer here? Did Dan come? I'm not sure if Dan's here. Dan was his partner. He was awesome.
Yes.
Jason Beebe, Carlo. Just so everybody knows, he really had to suffer for his art. This movie, like I said, was a lot of improv. And for a lot of time, people had to deal with not just John Renna, who's already an aggravating putz, but John Renna in the character of Tommy Gunn, of Jeff. So that's like, I'm an asshole, really bad. So he's hog-tied with a gag in his mouth to a fire hydrant, and that fart is not fully sound.
That was real.
Yeah. He decided to ad-lib, so I said, all right, fucker. And took it like a champ. And
Oh, God.
one of my favorite characters in the film, he's just, you had your own theme song, man. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm not sure if you guys recognize the girl with the dragon tattoo here. Our phantom. Chad, what do you like? What do you like? A freaking what?
I'm like a freaking phantom.
Andrew rocked it. I mean, it was just as soon as just so everyone knows, that was a Party City girl with the dragon tattoo wig. And we already went over what this lovely lady did. She rocked it. Ari right here, one of our cult victims. She survives. She comes in virtually out of nowhere. Floyd brought her in. Floyd didn't stand up, everyone, but while I'm here so I don't forget because you're not in the line, Floyd brought a lot of the beautiful ladies to the set. Floyd was one of the cultists. Floyd did all the body paint for the cultists.
Stand up! Stand up!
He knocked it out and just brought a Ari's one of the girls that he brought with him. I knew Ari beforehand and didn't realize that she did body paint stuff and nude stuff. I was like, oh shit, I would have asked you myself. As you know, Chris is like, he was a machine. I mean, he really was. I mean, just watching him work on these tight days were like just. I mean, he was sweating. He was moving. His back was fucking just destroyed from doing all that. It's still destroyed. I mean, one of the hardest things to do on a movie set is set up lights, and that's what the electric and run the wires. That's what electric and grip has to do. One of the hardest jobs. There's usually like 4 of them, 5 of them, and the DP and the camera operators. Chris did everything behind the camera, literally everything, aside from the rock and roll bits, the really awesome shots of Pinky Doodle Poodle rocking out in the park. That was Armand Petrie. Armand also played with the cultists, and you rocked it out. Right here? Right here? Julian Dickman? Yeah. Julian Dickman, I.A. Franklin.
I love you, buddy.
Later, man. He's heading to the set of Mercy. Julian, man, you rocked it. You were friggin' hilarious. I loved every minute of your performance. Every minute of it. Oh, God. Just everybody. Kim, you were so awesome in that office with Danny. You guys had such amazing chemistry on set at all times. It was so funny to watch you guys go together and just go at each other in that scene. It cracked me up. And you guys, I mean, literally, you guys made this happen. You helped us immensely. If it weren't for you, the hotel, as Danny and Tim are arriving in town, said, what rooms? What are you talking about?
Oh,
the rooms
my
we offered
God.
you at a discount, we don't have them anymore. So I was like, thanks, Millennium Hotel in Cheektowaga. So Kim and Armand came in and said, I have an idea. Why don't they stay with us? And they drove them to set like every day and fed them. And I mean, just without them, Tim and Danny would have choked me. So they saved my life.
When Armin saw me on our bed on the street, he leaned over and said, I have to burn the bed.
I'm not sleeping. That was your side, wasn't it? Yes, it was.
It was.
Smell you on the pillow.
God.
Youngest cast member.
Right here? James Murphy. What year did you graduate high school? Oh! was still in high school. What are you teaching him? He's a friggin' gang member. Sherry, James, and Frank. Where's Frankie? Frank? These three people here. Three times. He was in the park. He was one of the guys outside of the truck that gets hosed. Oh God, just all over the place. Everything, just all three of them. Like every time something happened, somebody couldn't make it. Boom. Hey, I'm here. What do you need? What do you need? We could throw them into the spots, and they always knew what to do. It was so amazing. Yeah. Terry Kimmel. One of our producers, obviously one of the cultists of he gets shot and it makes the most awesome noise ever. We kept it in. Terry rocked it. I was just like, I was so impressed with his performance there, and he brought family members to set to help us. And
we haven't told her father yet.
And Terry is one of those guys who does nothing but support the Western New York film industry, and without him, without him doing this kind of thing, I mean, that's what we need, is as many people pushing us and pushing us and pushing us and helping us along as we can, because we don't have the big piles of money that some people do to make a film the proper way, and to have 2,000 people in your crew, and to have helicopters flying around and shit. We don't have that money, especially the advertising. We need you. And Sherry Ritz. Sherry was the jogger, as you saw her ducking bullets and running around, and I referenced her like, who thinks that's lunch? And Tom gets his head blown off, and he was a big help on set. This lady right here was one of our victims. Kim rocked it out. Your scream when you're getting your throat bit was, oh God, it was so awesome. Bob, our doctor. Hiding in the back over here is clown extraordinaire Arlo Price, who was Tommy gun. He came shimmy shamming out of the truck. I said, okay, that's what we're going to do. You could go out the door you're sitting near, but I want you to climb through the car. It's a fat joke. That's right! Yeah, so he was the other person getting made fun of for being fat like me in the movie. Right here, we have Greg and Fatty. These two guys right here rocked it. Got us set up with Pinky Doodle Poodle, with Robbie Takak. They helped us get the whole infringement festival set up with Robbie and everybody. And they brought those two hilarious characters to the table. The purple suit pimp and, oh God, just Greg cracked. It was so hard to edit Greg's things. The whole time he's like, open the door, open the door. He's totally in character the whole time. I was dying the whole time. And I know there's a bunch of you out in the crowd that were too scared to come up. I see you. And everybody, seriously, like this is why the movie happened, because of these people behind me. And that's what I wanted to do right there.
That's the Q&A time. But I do want you to tell everybody how much the movie cost.
Shot this movie for 78, I think was the total. I think it was 78. So under $8,000. Under $8,000. Danny Hicks and Tim Quill, who came in and rocked it. I mean, Danny came in for a song and dance. He said, John, I love this script so much, I'll do whatever it takes to come down here. Give me a stack of peanuts and I'm good. And he came in, and man, did that guy deliver. How awesome was Danny and Tim Quill? For those of you who don't know who they are, Danny Hicks is Jake from Evil Dead 2. And Tim Quill, the guy with the big mustache who played Shabby Sammy, that's the blacksmith from Army of Darkness. Those guys have been in studio films. They travel in Sam Raimi's path. They have been on huge studio movies and made tons of money. And it was so flattering for me to have them on the film. There's some of my favorite cult actors. They just rocked it.
And I also want to say I visited the set a couple of times, and of course I've never seen footage of me working, but I will say John worked as hard on this film as I've ever seen anyone work in my life. I want to congratulate both of you guys. And trust me, they could talk an hour about the adversities faced on this film. They really had to pull it all out.
It was crazy. It really was. Thank you.
Congratulations,
Thank
guys.
Yeah.
Again, feel free to congregate and throw feathers at their feet in the lobby while we clean the theater. Please help us out by throwing out the buckets and cups on your way out.